Hi, everybody. I'm actually back, and just to let you guys know, I know I haven't been streaming lately. I know I haven't. I am so sorry about that. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm not gonna let it get to my head, and it's not gonna be that big of a problem for too much longer. It's gonna be something that we're working out, but so far, this is what I'm working on. So you guys don't have to question me about what I'm working on going forward. You guys will know. So I plan on doing a very, very, very large painting of the Universal monsters, like the classic ones. So I wanted to do this during October, but I didn't get started on it. I kind of did some character pages, which are up on my TikTok, but I didn't get a chance to work on it during that time. Of course, during Halloween is very busy for a vampirist like myself. But these are the classic Universal monsters, basically the granddaddies of all. So I don't know if I'm going to include Frankenstein's Bride, but I might just for shits and giggles. But going back to what we want to work on. So, this is what I did with my Halloween night. Hello, waving hello. Look at my nails, they're so pretty. They're talons and they're orange for the pumpkins and Halloween. Okay, this is my sketchbook that I use for my business, Hidden Oddity Studios, LLC. I officially have a shop on Etsy now, so that is a big thing that I've been working on. I hope people are proud of me. But with this video, these are tea balls. They have tea in them, which is going to be pretty interesting here in a second. Oh, I meant to turn up the speed a little bit so we're not sitting here forever and a day. So I bought this teapot specifically for this. So inside this, if you look here, it's herbs, and it's basically a plant in there that's dried out, and it smells kind of bitter because it's green tea. I love green tea, so yeah, I was super hyped to use this. I set it in there, and that is the hottest water, and we're gonna dump it in. Woo! And we set that off to the side and let it bloom. So while that's steeping, and that's what it's called for tea, you let it steep. And so with that, that's going to be sitting there as I work on my art. Oh yeah, I forgot I lit my brain candle. I love that I did my own candles and they're completely body safe. So if I wanted to, I can use the wax as lotion. But anyway, these are my sketches of the Universal monsters. I'm just going here, freshening up the sketches and working on pretty much just making it a little bit more seeable so I can add colors to it. There we go. Look at the cheeks. A little bit more ink in there. We're going to go real quick here in a minute because this part is just it. So I go through and I'm just adding more of the detail. And I'm just going to use this video for TikTok for right now, just to give you guys an update on what I'm working on. So when I have downtime in between clients, I usually work on these drawings, or I'm working on another piece. But this watercolor book is specifically for art that's for my business, and also any like little side projects that I want to do. This is going to be the biggest painting that I attempt. So I'm going to try to do it somewhat digitally at first, and then go back and basically do it in painting form after that, like actual canvas and acrylic paint after that. I really enjoyed doing the mummy. His piece is specifically off the movie. I wanted to show his face because I know there's a lot of mummy iterations out there that don't really show his face like at all. And it kind of makes me upset because I know he's like he's a person. And it makes me a little teed off that a lot of people don't really treat him as a actual character. Like, he's usually a sidekick or something, and it's just upsetting. I wanted to show his face. If you look at the movie, he seems like a nice older gentleman. He actually works for the museum. So I made sure that I wrinkle-fied his face, of course, but I wanted to show more of his face than just the wrapping and your traditional mummy look. So besides that, adding that in. Ooh. And that was the end of that. So that's the first video I had. And I'm going to go back and show you guys the video of me actually coloring these guys in. So let me go ahead and bring that up. Okay. So you got a little peek behind the scenes there. But this is the watercolor process. As you can see here, I'm drinking blue tea now. And we're going to speed this one up as well. So with this tea, I love that it's more of a chai. And also you can see my candle. I moved it from over here over to the other side, and it had half the brain melted. So at this point, I've already inked everything out. It's all inked out now and ready for me to put the watercolor on there. I love these thinner watercolor brushes because it's just something about really pinpointing where I want the color. This is my oldest watercolor painting set. A lot of it's cracked, but it still works. So I'm trying to use up the last bit of pigment that's in there. I don't really take that one out and about that much anymore because it just doesn't look as nice. So I'm using this kind of brownish color that I've thrown together, yellowish brown, to really age the bandages. It's going to be tougher to do this in black and white, but I want to attempt to really get this down. Especially in black and white, I want to make sure that the bandages are properly aged. Ooh, big jump. So I decided to age the bandages even more. So it might be those old bandages, but I really like his face. He looks so cute. Just a cute old man. And with Dracula, see, I don't like using that brush in that way to cover large spaces. It just makes the brush fan out way too much and it messes with me a little bit. I have a larger brush that is specifically made to cover more space, and that's this one. So with that, I wanted to have his cape kind of purple-ish, but I didn't want it to be all black because that would have been a large portion of just black. And he's already kind of a darker character anyway. I just wanted there to be more color for him. Some of the red overran. Yep. So I blotted out. So I'm going to add more pigment to it. And that's what kind of sucks using these big bristle brushes for smaller areas because it's watercolor, so it tends to bloom out a lot. The good thing about watercolor is I can easily just go over that with another color. So that's the outcropping of the purple again. And I'm going to carry that throughout his particular piece. I'm probably going to come in with the black, yep, and kind of merge those two lines together so I can get black and that purple in there. Yep, just covered up that red blotch that was right there. I love watercolor for that I can just so easily blend the colors and it works so well. Like I don't have to worry about that at all. So instead of him having just pure black hair, I wanted it to be with a little bit of brown in there. I want to see if it even still peeks through on the camera. It does a little bit, so yeah. And then I blot it out so it can definitely kind of look a little bit better. A black tie, of course. And then I kind of wanted to leave his shirt a neutralish color, but I didn't want it to be white. So I think I go in there with kind of like a beigey color. But first, it's so easy if I just leave his face like a white creamy color. But I was like, no, give him the color of the dead, which I know that for me being a vampire, I have a lot of color in me. It's called melanin. But this guy's like super pale. Dracula is always super pale and often depicted with red eyes. Not all of us have like glowy red eyes. For me, I have these golden bubbles. But I wanted to give him more of a complexion, but also lighten that up to where it looks like it's not even there. And then add in a lot of blues and grays because that's what it looks like when your skin gets cold, and a little purplish in there to make him look like the corpse that he is. I should be really careful with my words. He's retired now, but still, I mean, ungodly amounts of power. Like ridiculous amounts of power. Oh, I love this. So here's more of the blue that I added in there. So I think that looks a lot better. Oh no, this song has to go. Absolutely not. We don't talk about Christmas while we're celebrating Halloween. It doesn't exist. Speaking of which, look at that candy over there. You know that's a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I just ate it. Oh man, I love eating candy and working on my work. This is one of the like easiest parts that I had to do for this. And I want to see if I could speed it up even more. Nope. This is as fast as we could go. But I did chug through that pretty well. So this is where I kind of add in a different color palette for him. I wanted him to still have like a darker ish complexion, but also kind of show that he's rusty and or dusty. I He's a mummy and he's undead, so I have to kind of give homage to that. So making his buttons gold, and I'll come back and hit that up a little bit more later. Down here is Phantom of the Opera. And I think I go in pretty hard with some of the darker colors. Oop, skip. I went straight for Wolfman. I finally drew him out and just doing his claws. See, this was the traditional face for the Wolfman. I know for a while there we were doing like full snouts, which I appreciate Underworld's depiction of werewolves and vampires. Don't think that I don't. But at the same time, our grandfathers didn't have the full out snout, you know? They still looked mostly humanoid. And with this, I wanted to make sure that I blended out the fur to where it still looked like hair fur. Because the original werewolf, Wolfman, was very much like that. We had high and low lights about his fur. And onto the creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm coming in with a lot of like very greenish brown. Algae is a thing that he has to deal with constantly. A lot of sea creatures have to deal with algae, and I think it's not spoken enough in the media. It's a thing, and it especially grows more, well, with a lot of the pollution we have right now. It's getting hard for them to eat food down there. Like kelp isn't going as much as I would like it to, but still, like the ingrowth of algae on our sea creature brethren is a huge issue. Besides the point, let me get off my soapbox about that. But I just decided to go in with this kind of like reptarish green. Yeah, with some of the lighter parts, and then I go in after that and layer more of that brown in there to make it look murky. And I really play up his like fish lips, because he got the fish lips, and I think I do those in a red, but more of this olive like brown. I wanted to really like murk him up, because he is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Let's make him murky. So I go in with that, and I add all that. I really love doing this particular portrait, because just the idea that I don't know. I like my sea creature boys. I think if I had a choice of dating a sea creature man, I'd probably either date a sea creature man or I guess a wolf. A wolf would be fine. Ugh. I only say ugh because I imagine the hairballs. It's just everywhere. And just controlling him while he's in wolf form would still be a pain in the butt. But I really like how I did these pops of green. Like it's lighter and also darker at the same time. I love it. And that's what I picture his suit to kind of be, like these browns and like a mix of the brownish. And I just loved it. I loved doing this one. When I do the bigger piece, it will not be in color. It will be in black and white. So I have to remember to kind of get the values down of this and make certain parts darker and certain parts lighter. I forgot that I did that in like a goatee hue. Gave him a goatee belly. And then I went in there and really accentuated his gills a little bit more. Made, I'm trying to think what I did with his face. Okay, I made that kind of like a darker green. So he's mostly an agua-like color, but I really like what I did with his particular portrait. I made him blush. So what I did with his lips were just pink them up, just make them real pink and gushy. I like that I made him blush like that though. That's so cute. I pick up a little bit of the pigment from there and kind of just whoosh it back to other parts of him. Yeah. I wanted to give him that speckled look. Like, definitely, he's got algae growing on him. He has all sorts of things, flora, and maybe he has fauna on him too, some sort of bacteria. Who knows? But definitely, his skin is really like bumpy, like a fish, and scaly. So I really went ham with the dots there. I'm still not sure if it was too much or just perfect. Maybe you guys should tell me in the comments. But this is what I've been doing with my time. This was my Halloween. I did really have fun. I didn't have that many trick-or-treaters because my apartment's kind of off the beaten path. But yeah, I really enjoy. So I do come back and with some acrylics to lighten up some portions and make some other portions darker. But just with the watercolor, it looks good on its own too. So this was first pass on my guys. I was able to finish all of them. So if we go a little bit, I start to work on Frankenstein here, which I did him in a digital version already, but I thought to cartoon him up a little bit more for this piece. And I didn't want to go with just pure black hair again. It's so, to me, it's boring. It's just boring. So I decided to go with blue hair on one piece of him. And I think I move forward. Yeah, I bring in some black and then I brown it up, because in my idea is that Frankenstein does not have one person's hair color on their head. It's like a mishmash of all the colors. Well, that Frankenstein's monster, of course, has a mishmash of all the colors. Frankenstein, the dude, like totally hecked him up real good. So coming in there, and you can still see a little bit of remnants of my pencil in there, but with the, yeah, I wanted to give him that undead complexion. So we really went in with a lot of our like greenish and blues. Yeah, I think I kind of pat it here. I think I'm trying to think if I've lifted up some more of the color to kind of blend it more, or if I left it like that, which it wouldn't be. Okay, good. I was about to say it wouldn't be absolutely terrible if I left it like that, but I can't do like super hard color in there. So what I do to get the shadows is, yep, I darken it up where I think the shadows should go. And we do a little bit more to add in there. And let's see here. We go in more on some of the colors, kind of blending them out instead of making it look so blue, but he still does have a blue complexion, a blue-based complexion. I really hate that I still used my thin painterly as to fill such a large area. It just, no. And what I'm going to do there is take some more of the pigment, pull it from the side that's darker and move it. Yeah, there we go. Lifting it up, move it over to the side that's lighter. So kind of, so you can still see those lines. And so it's not as dark on one side and then super bright on the other. I don't know why I decided to really do that, but I did. I really enjoy like the watercolor process, so I can lift pigment if I think it's too dark and darken it in ways that really help. There we go. Adding some more shadow in there. Yeah, I wanted to heck up those shadows a little bit more. And plus I have to get that side from being so dark. So what I do is just go through and kind of looking at all the other pieces and seeing where can I add in this black to kind of get rid of it. Pull it as much as I can from right there and kind of add it in where it needs to be and other pieces in there. Yeah, go ahead and add them shadows in. I like doing shadows so much. So later on, I'll go back in there with some acrylic paint and really make certain aspects of it pop. But for right now, that's what it looks like. I'll probably do finish piece pictures after, but I'm just darkening up different areas with that color. It's my way of kind of cheating the system, especially if you're working on several pieces at once. And opening it up, here's the other guys. So everybody's got their color in there. So the next part is to start putting them into the larger piece, which is going to be a bit of a pain. I'm already doing most of it digitally, but yeah, this is why I've been gone for so long and why I haven't streamed in the past 2 weekends. I'm I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry that I haven't streamed, but it's been one of those things to where I really do enjoy streaming, but when people aren't there, it's more of a grind to stream instead of like just chilling out. So I like these videos. If they seem something like you guys would like them too, I will continue to do them. But if not, I'll kind of slow down again. But I'm really focusing in on my Etsy store. If you guys would like to request certain items or certain fan art, I can definitely start putting that on t-shirts, bags, all kinds of things. But that's up to you guys to give me the feedback. Thank you for being here and hanging out with me this evening as I gobbled away, as you saw, as I as I did some drawings. Thank you for hanging out. Good night, y'all.